Good morning, friends. Welcome to your practice. Let's go ahead and come into an easy seat. It is Thursday, January 2nd. What a wonderful way to be starting the new year with some movement and mindfulness. So let's go ahead and scan the environment that we're in, just looking around the space, even if it's a very familiar one. All right. And then looking straight ahead, see if you can soften your shoulders and soften the muscles around your eyes, your cheeks. Let your hands be soft. They can just rest wherever they are. And let's turn our attention to our breath, taking a nice slow breath in through the nose and out through the nose. Of course, always just doing the best you can. If you're congested, you might need to sneak a little air in through the mouth. But stay with this full intentional breath a couple more cycles. As you stay with your breath, we'll start remembering the first yama. So we're going to loop back and begin our study of yoga philosophy and yoga ethics, returning to kind of the most classic of all, ahimsa, non-harm. So ahimsa means non-violence or non-harming, compassion, and loving kindness. Ahimsa means non-violence, non-harming, compassion, and loving kindness. So just noticing the mind or body's reaction even to those words or that idea. And then a couple breaths more as a way of acknowledging how we can practice non-harm to ourselves, practicing compassion and kindness towards ourselves on our yoga mats. All right, and let's go ahead and bring the soles of our feet together in Baddha Konasana or bound angle. And if it feels like your legs need support here, you can always wedge blocks under your knees or thighs. Otherwise, just let the legs hang down like they're reaching for the ground, no expectation to get there. Hands can rest on your shins. Let's lift the chest up. Maybe lift it up so much that you kind of arch your spine and look up. Taking an expansive breath in, no rush. And when it's time to exhale, pour forwards. That triggered a yawn for me. Maybe you'll get one too. Nice slow breaths in, easy breaths out. And as we're in our forward fold with the legs in Baddha Konasana, you might rock side to side, maybe sway a little, and try to rest your attention on your seat, your hips, your low back. And if your head is lifted, maybe you go ahead and let it surrender, let your head drop. Keep your breath full. One more slow and full breath in and out. And at your own pace, we'll sit up tall. Let's stretch your left leg long, right foot then pressing into the upper left leg. On an inhale, stretch your arms up, and on your exhale, fold forward. Your arms can just drop wherever they are. If it feels like they're reaching for something, you could also bring blocks under your hands and arms. This could be very passive, or you could engage, pressing through your left foot and heel, pushing your right foot into your left leg, maybe drawing your heart forward, drawing the shoulder blades together. Seeing how that feels, and then also comparing how it feels to just soften, let some effort leave the body, let the spine round, the head hang heavy. And maybe you like to fluctuate between the two. So on the inhale, engaging, extending. On the exhale, softening. A few more breaths. And then let's sit up and let's give this a try, crossing the right ankle over the left thigh. It's like a figure four. This is where I definitely like a block under my right leg so it's not just hanging out. If this doesn't feel good in your left quad from that ankle bone, or in your right knee or hip or anywhere else, please don't do it. Just go back to where we just were. If you're able to stay in this figure four with the right ankle stacked on the left leg, we'll really lift up through the heart and then lean forward. You might not move very much, but we're looking for some sensation in the right hip. Maybe sway a little. Another slow breath. And then we'll sit up tall. Let's bring the right foot to the ground on the outside of the left leg. Just do the best you can. If it's not happening, just put it on the inside of the left leg. Here we could scoop the belly out of the way to help us hug the right leg in. Hook your left arm around the right leg and take a twist to the right. Right hand back behind you like a kickstand. Keep lengthening your spine, lifting it up, and then turning to the right. Slow breath. And release. Give yourself a counter twist. And then stretch out your right leg. Pause for just a moment, noticing the right leg compared to the left. Where there is sensation, where there's maybe lack of sensation. And then we'll bend the left knee, putting the left foot into the upper right thigh. Again, let's stretch our arms up, try to get long. And then exhale, fold forward, unless a cat just walked onto your lap. Hi, buddy. Wow, this is a good year. I like it already. All right, folding forward in Janu Shirshasana. And again, you could just hang out as you are, or you can alternate between a little more effort and a little more ease. So for the effort, we'd push through the right heel. Really press through that right leg, push the left foot into the upper right thigh, draw the shoulder blades together, lifting the heart. And then on your exhales, you can soften everything, let the spine round, let the head hang heavy. On the inhales, we can engage, lifting the heart. On the exhales, we can soften. A few more breaths. Good, then we'll sit up tall and see about crossing your left ankle over your right thigh. Again, you could bring the block under the left leg so it's not just hanging out. And when you're ready, Lift the heart and then lean forward. So we don't need to even try to go nearly as far in this configuration. But look for sensation. Maybe that brings you into some movement. Remember, if anything just doesn't feel right or if it hurts, please adjust. We can let this practice work for us and benefit us without any pain. And then we'll sit up. Breathing, bring the left foot to the outside of the right leg, if you can get it there. Scooping the belly out of the way, then hook the right arm around the left leg, sit tall, and give yourself a twist to the left. Try to keep that left hip heavy on the ground. Every inhale, we can sit a little taller, bringing in air. Every exhale, maybe twist a little more, look back a little more. One more breath. And on your exhale, go ahead and release. Give yourself a counter twist to the right. And then return to face forward. Just one more thing seated. Let's cross our legs with the right leg in front. You could stay just like this, or pick up that right leg, cradling it a little bit. Try to get your left shin as if it were parallel to the top line of your yoga mat, and then see about stacking your right leg on top of your left. So the right ankle over the left knee, right knee hanging out over the left ankle. Again, this is a good spot to wedge a block. This is Agni Stambhasana, named for fire logs because it looks like our legs are fire logs. You could sway side to side or start to lean forward. Looking for pleasant sensation in that back right hip area. Maybe you're getting a little in the outer hips also. And then let's sit up tall, bring both feet to the ground. Hands come back behind you. Let's let our legs fall side to side like windshield wipers. All right, cross your legs with the left leg in front. And then we'll pick up that left leg, cradling it, rocking it like a baby, shifting your right leg so that the shin is more parallel to the top of your mat, and then stacking your left leg on top of your right. Again, putting a block there if that's helpful. Left ankle over right knee, left knee over right ankle. Sit up nice and tall, and then maybe lean forward a little, maybe sway a little. Let's keep the breath full. And notice if your mind has had anything sassy to say about your body's abilities, just taking note of that, and then remembering this month we're really focusing on ahimsa, kindness, kindness towards ourselves, kindness towards the world around us. Another breath or two. Good. Let's go ahead and release that. Both feet to the ground. Again, let your legs fall side to side. As your knees fall to the right side, see if you can tap your inner left knee to the ground, or as close as you can get, and then vice versa. All right, let's make our way to tabletop. Oh. I might just verbally guide from here. Okay, going to tabletop. I'm sorry, Toby. I love you, buddy. From tabletop, let's just right away tuck our toes, press our hips up and back into downward facing dog. And when you get there, you can pedal your feet out, sway your hips generously. Let the head hang nice and heavy. And then bring your feet out wider. Pivot the toes to point out, heels to point in. Soften your knees. Let's walk our hands back as we sink our hips down. Seeing how a squat feels today. You can shift your weight side to side. And just let your hips be wherever they are. This depends very much on our bone structure. So some people, their hips might be almost on the ground. Some, it might be up above the knees. And either way, it doesn't necessarily have that much to do with flexibility. Just work with what you've got. That's a great way to give yourself compassion. All right, and then we'll bring our hands back to the ground. Come forward to plank pose. Inhale here. On your exhale, go ahead and lower on down to your belly. Point your toes back. Hands alongside your chest. On an inhale, let's lift our chest, lift the hands with it. Exhale, lower down. 2 more times like that. Inhale to lift. Exhale to lower. Inhale to lift. Exhale, lower down. Tuck your toes. Press up to tabletop. And when you get there, we'll do some cow and cat. So inhaling drops your belly down. Exhaling arches your spine up. Let your head get heavy there. Do that a few times. And then let's switch directions. So the next time you arch your spine up in an exhale, stay there for your inhale. Exhale, drop your belly down. Inhale, arch your spine up. Exhale, belly down. One more time. Good. Tuck the toes. Let's find down dog again. From here, slowly step your feet up to the top of the mat, Uttanasana, forward fold. Bend your knees generously so your belly's draping on your thighs. Push your feet into the ground and slowly rise up, making your way to the top. As you get there, sweep your arms out and up. Let's hook our thumbs and then pull our fingertips up to the sky and then over to the right, so stretching through the left side body. And come back to center, keep breathing, and hinge over to the left. Come back to center, and then inhale, find a little back bend, press your hips forward, and then on an exhale, fold all the way forwards and down. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, fold down, hands touching the ground, step that right foot straight back, drop the knee, untuck the toes. Push your hips forwards and down, lift your heart, see if you can slowly lift your hands off of the ground and up to the sky. And then when you get there, you might interlace your hands behind your head and give yourself a little back bend. And then hands back to the ground. Tuck your right toes, lift the knee off of the ground. Take a twist to the left, left hand reaching to the sky. As you stay there, maybe straighten your left leg a little. One more big inhale. On the exhale, bend your left knee, left hand comes back to the ground. Find plank pose for an inhale. Exhale, downward facing dog. From here, let's lift that right leg. Exhale, step or swing it to the top of the mat. Drop your left knee. Untucking the toes, pressing your hips forwards and down. Lift your heart. Slowly let the hands and arms lift up. Maybe interlacing hands behind your head, finding a little back bend, really with the goal of getting more stretch on the front of the left thigh. And then bringing your hands back to the ground, tuck your left toes, lift that knee, stretch the right arm up, taking a twist to the right. Breathing here, see about straightening that right leg, even if it's just a little bit. Pull the right hip back in space. Big inhale. And exhale, right hand to the ground. Go ahead and step your left foot up, fold forward. Inhale, take your time, rising all the way up. Reaching to the sky, and then exhaling, hands down through center and down to your sides. Pausing for a couple of breaths to recalibrate. Give yourself time to get there. Wonderful. Next inhale, let's reach out and up. Exhale, fold all the way down. Left foot stepping back in space. This time, let's keep that left knee lifted. See if we can rise up in crescent lunge. If this feels too unsteady for our balance, we can always plant the left foot on the ground and take more of a warrior one. So either way, we're getting a stretch through the front of the left hip. It'll just be slightly different. Another inhale. And then on an exhale, let's pivot and open up to warrior two. Good. So the right heel is pretty well aligned with the left arch, bending into your right knee, arms really outstretched. Let's flip the right palm to the sky. Inhale, stretch your right arm up, left arm dropping down like an anchor or wrapping around behind your back, reverse warrior. And slowly press into your right heel to straighten the right leg, passing through reverse triangle. On your next exhale, bend your right knee, bring your hands all the way to the ground, pivoting to face forward. Step that right foot back, plank pose for an inhale. Exhale, downward facing dog, just a breath. And then left leg reaches to the sky, three-legged dog, look forward, step or swing the left foot to the top of the mat, steady yourself, and stretch your arms up. Crescent lunge or warrior one. Notice the front of your right thigh and hip. And on your next exhale, transition to warrior two. So adjusting your feet, heel to arch-ish alignment, arms outstretched. Looking over your left fingertips. Notice if you feel any stretch or sensation through your arms. Notice the strength of your legs supporting you here. And let's flip the left palm to the sky, stretch your left arm up. Couple of breaths in your reverse warrior. And then as you breathe, let's press into the left foot, lengthening the left leg, reverse triangle. A steady inhale. When it's time for you to exhale, bend your left knee, bringing your hands to the ground, pivoting to face forward. Inhale. Exhale, step your right foot up, fold forward. On your inhale, come all the way up. And exhale your hands to your heart. Pause for a couple breaths. All right, now we'll explore some pigeon pose. With these shorter classes, we can only do so much warm up. So if you don't think your body will like pigeon pose, or if we get there and you realize it's not good, just flip onto your back and take figure four. Otherwise, we'll inhale to reach our arms out and up. Exhale, take your time, fold forward and down. Let's bring our hands to the ground. Step both feet back so we find plank pose. From plank, lift your hips, downward facing dog. Inhale here. Exhale, come forward to plank. Pull your right knee towards your right wrist, and then let's set that right leg down. You could shimmy the left leg back in space. You could work your right foot towards your left wrist if that feels good to your knee and hip. For me, it feels a little better to keep the right foot closer to the left hip. You could put a block under your right hip and or under your torso if you wanted to lower down. Remember, if anything doesn't feel quite right, trust those signals from your body. Go ahead and just flip onto your back and cross your right ankle over your left thigh, drawing the legs in for figure four. It is essentially the same stretch, just a lot less pressure on the joints. Just another breath passing through. And then planting your hands, tuck your left toes, find your way back to downward facing dog. So stepping that right foot back, taking a breath in down dog, and then shifting forward to plank, pulling your left knee towards your left wrist, settling that leg down, settling your hips down, maybe shimmying your right leg back in space. A few breaths in pigeon pose or figure four on this side. Good, and for those of us in pigeon pose, belly down, we'll just shift our weight over to the left leg, swing the legs around, and we'll meet anyone who is on their back already in figure four. So coming onto your spine, and when you get there, you can draw your knees in towards your chest, so we're all in Apanasana, little curled up ball shape. And eventually release your feet to the ground. You might stay here practicing your rest with the feet grounded. Otherwise, go ahead and stretch your legs long. Make any adjustments so that you can rest unbothered for a moment. Ahimsa means non-violence, non-harming, compassion, and loving kindness. Making your way out of Shavasana and into an easy seat, knowing you can always take your time. I know those are short, bite-sized Shavasana rests. As you come to an easy seat, we can draw our hands together at our heart. My whole little circus is here now. Hi, Trudy. Let's take a big breath in and let it go. Big breath in if you'd like to chant Om. Om. May all beings everywhere be free from pain and suffering. May the thoughts, words, and actions of our lives contribute in some way to that freedom for all. Deep bow of gratitude to you for sharing your time and your energy and your efforts. Very inspiring to be part of this group, so thank you for being here. I'll see you tomorrow. I hope you have a wonderful Thursday.